Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm here with Elizabeth Talboy at MilanoWellness.me. Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. As a shamanic channel and mentor, I'll be sharing wisdom and healing from higher dimensions through channeling beings of light. You will also hear liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing, channels between intuitives, and discussion on higher dimensional healing and channeling. You'll find links and more in the show notes, so be sure to check them. You can find me at soundwavesheal.com and my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. She's a holistic health practitioner, and we're talking about healthy living in a chemical world.
Thanks for having me, Rachel. This is fun.
Thank you so much for coming. I just want to tell everyone that I just love Elizabeth. Her work is so cool, and I see her myself. All that you do is so important, and that there's so much to learn about being healthy in such a chemically laden world. And I'm so glad that you're here to talk about it. Why don't we just start with a little bit about you, what you do for everybody here today?
I use two different modalities. The main one that I use is the Biophotons, which I do in person. And then I also have this biofeedback device, which is amazing. The reason that I bought it was because I'm looking at starting my dissertation for going back to school to be a doctor of natural medicine. And I was reading through all of the other dissertations, and I saw this one woman who had 100% success rate on treating brain injuries, this device only remotely. And so I got on the call the next day to talk to the person about buying one. And I had a remote session myself, and I was actually fighting with some lymph stuff. And I was like, okay, let's try and treat that. And it just drained immediately. I felt it drain, and I'm not very energy sensitive. That I had to get to you, like, and all of your cool stuff by way of what I'm doing to really understand that energy medicine works, or all of this energy stuff is real, because I wasn't very energy sensitive. And so I had to prove it to myself over and over again by my own health and getting my own wellness in check, because I had two autoimmune diseases that I don't have anymore. And then, so that's a miracle, right? Especially in Western medicine. So once I saw that this woman had 100% success rate with this brain injury, treating people remotely, I was like, oh, I'm all in. And I tested it on myself, and it worked. And I've been testing it on my clients here, and it's incredible. I still have to prove to myself, I still have to think about it, like, how can this possibly be working? And it does. It really does. It's amazing.
That's really cool. Can you tell everybody what the Biophotons is?
Yeah, the Biophotons is another machine. I do it in person. It works with your body's own light. So the idea that every single cell emits light, and that light can become coherent, or is coherent, is emitted from your DNA in a coherent manner, which is resonant with your body. But it can also get disturbed or disrupted, and they call it incoherent light. And they found even that cancer cells are emitting this incoherent light. So it makes sense then as a healing mechanism. And it is how the body heals, those biophotons. And they are, like, if you cut your finger, for example, your body will heal itself. But how does it know to heal itself? They found that if you look at it really closely, the biophotons are actually instructing what to do. The construction workers are telling them what to do and how to do it. So it's fascinating. That's how your body is meant to heal, is by having this coherent light where the communication system is really clear, and they're communicating on every single cell on how to heal itself. So that's what the main thing that the machine does, is it will clear out anything that's chaotic, and it will invert it so that your light is coherent. It also uses homeopathic remedies that help support the body. It's fascinating. Like I said, I had the celiac disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which are two autoimmune diseases that can't be healed in Western medicine yet. Here I am eating gluten, no Hashimoto's symptoms, and all this stuff. So it's cool.
That's really cool. So we have biophotons already. Is that what you're saying? And this machine increases the light?
It doesn't increase it. It uses your body's own light and corrects it. So it's beautiful. We are spiritual beings, and it's like science has proven this. We are literally beings of light. And, where I used to think, oh, maybe that's biblical, like in a metaphorical sense, but no, it's scientifically proven that we are these beings of light. And then that light can get messed up, and we want to make sure that you're using your own light and not the distorted light. So what's interesting is most of my clients, after 4 or 5 sessions, will sit down and say, I just feel more like myself. And that's what you are. You're more like yourself. Your light is more coherent, and you are more you. So that's why you're feeling better. It's really cool.
That is so neat.
Yeah.
I love that. And if you think about it, that's what we're doing in the 3D, going to 5D. We're increasing our light, like we're building our light body. So if we're using our own light to replace what's not working or not lighting well into what is. I mean, I can't say it as well as you do, but that's so cool. That is a way of building your light body.
Yeah, and that is what you do. You create coherence in the body. When you do your Reiki and you do your liquid, I mean, you can feel it. You feel more balanced when you have a session with Rachel. You feel that balance. It's creating coherence. And what it's doing on a cellular level is creating that nice, coherent light that is of that person. And everybody's frequency is different. And you're healing that frequency. It's really cool. Yeah, like a machine that does it, you do it without the machine, which is really cool.
Sound waves heal.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. That's really cool to think of it that way. Well, I've been having sessions with Elizabeth for a while and I love them. We've been doing them distance, both machines, and I love it. I love the way it makes me feel. And it feels like it's really helping me a lot. And so we had an interesting discussion yesterday where we were talking about what we would talk about today. And I was saying, well, maybe the most important things right now are for people to clear parasites and make sure they have enough iodine in their thyroid gland and make sure that there's an exit of all the chemicals stored in the body, which is one thing iodine does. But your answer like trumped mine so bad. Like, yeah, your answer. No, you were like, yes, but if you have a strong gut, I mean, you tell them.
Yeah. Well, we always focus on the terrain. Like your body needs to be strong on its own, and then you should be able to fight off any bacteria as it is. There were in the 1800s, there was these microbiologists that were fighting in France, the Pasteur and Béchamp, and Pasteur was really well connected, and he was government connected, and he was pushing the pharmaceutical agenda. And he said it's all about the bacteria. Bacteria causes disease. And Béchamp, who was not very well liked or not really well connected, was like, actually, it's the terrain. If you have a healthy body, then you can be exposed to bacteria and your body should be able to fight it and you won't get sick. And so, I mean, there's a little bit of truth in both of them, but the main thing that I focus is on, at least the first, is making sure that you don't have any leaky gut and make sure that the toxins aren't leaking through your body, because we can't detox heavy metals or anything really, toxic chemicals. We can't detox that, because what would happen would be is it would just go detox through your gut and then leak out and go back into your bloodstream and then circulate probably even worse than before. So we really need to focus first on creating a healthy system, making sure your kidney and bladder are really strong so that they can help with that. Those are the elimination organs, but also your gut, so it doesn't have any impermeability. And it's really rare to find somebody, even little kids, who don't have some type of impermeability in their gut. And I'm working on my dissertation. I'm working on celiac disease clients. And my most recent client who came in for celiac disease, she took a little bit longer than my usual, but she had a lot of things going on. She had rheumatoid arthritis, she had a lot of migraines, and she had celiac disease. And took 15 weeks to tell her she could eat gluten, but all the other symptoms went away too. She didn't have rheumatoid arthritis and she didn't have the migraines, and all I did was really focus on the gut, healing that up, making sure there was no impermeability there. And yes, there is a little targeting of, I know this bacteria will really help with the gluten, with that celiac disease reaction, but it was mainly just healing up her body's internal organs and making sure they were strong. And then everything else went away, which is really cool.
Really cool. It is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we think if I just eat the perfect thing, then I'll be okay. But perhaps that's not always true. If you have leaky gut or if your terrain's not doing well, then that doesn't really work. And then if you have candida or anything like that, then it becomes really hard, because then you have the cravings and it makes it much harder to stay on track. I've done diets before where I really did eat so perfectly and I lost a lot of weight and I felt great. But then when I started eating food again, what I would consider like a normal, which would be a super healthy diet is what I would consider normal. And yet it didn't really stick. I could only keep that weight off if I did this severe diet. So I
Yeah.
love that instead I'm working on my terrain with you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
and I remember too, when I was really sick, I think I did keto for the longest time because it was the only thing that I felt like would at least manage the inflammation. And it did help. I mean, those extreme diets do help. And I think people like
They
recently,
do.
carnivore diet, people swear by that, but it's not sustainable. Even keto is not sustainable. You can't live like that for forever, or I guess you could, but it's really hard. It's a lot of
Yeah.
willpower. It's not fun. At birthday parties, you're the one who's sitting in the corner. Like, that's not, I'll just have a meat stick. That's not fun. And then to be able to eat stuff and not have that reaction is life-changing, really.
Yeah. Well, can you show us some of the cool things that your machine does?
Yeah.
Okay, so which machine is this? I know, but tell them.
It's the life system. It's for biofeedback, and it works remotely as well as in person. In person, I really like it because you feel almost buzzy after you leave, so you really know it's working. When you do it remotely, I like to work on people like you, Rachel, who are so energy sensitive, and it's working. But other than that, you wouldn't really feel anything. You wouldn't know I was working on you unless you saw a symptom improve for most people. But people like you,
I think it's
so
more than that though, because you feel so good afterwards.
you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do feel lighter,
Hmm.
cleaner, like energetically. And there's cool things that I can do like this. So I'm showing this page, the reactivity test. I can test, I think, 12,000 different viruses, bacteria, allergens. There's amino acids, Ayurvedic herbs, all the toxins I can test you for. So this is a fun page and a really good, just overall detox. And there are remedies here as well to help build up the gut and build up your organ systems. So that's really cool. And then I'm going to show the wellness page because we like to do all the fun stuff. We like to do. Should I show the chakras and that one? That's kind of fun.
Yes, the chakra one is really cool. Do you have it on anyone right now, or is it just?
Let's see. I meant to do a picture. This is what it would look like, though. It would test, and it would show you the size of them are also important. So this is just the basic how they have it, like your crown chakra. And then but when I do the test chakra, they would come up in different sizes. And then over here, it would show me the reactivity of them. So it will give me a number and like how off from the center it is. And then I can also do an aura test, which is really interesting. And like right now, it looks kind of like an hourglass, but I did it on you, Rachel, and you look like an angel. It looked like angel wings on you, and your crown chakra looked like a crown. It was so beautiful. It was really cool. And then the colors, of course, mean different things. Like that violet means intuitive, or lavender that we see there, imagination, different, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool to read it. And then it's interesting too, because it matches up with how you're feeling usually. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. So that was a fun one that we do. And then it will test the chakras, but it will also balance the chakras. So I can test them and we can run the system where it balances it. And then let's see, what else can we do?
These are my favorite. Like when we get to this page, after Elizabeth runs like all the health stuff on me, then she asks me what I want. Of course, I'm always like, ooh, do I do aging? Do I do like a cosmetic? Do I do chakras? I mean, we have everything here. We haven't even done them all yet. Like, ooh, you have endology. What is that? The eye?
The iridology, that is pretty
Iridology.
cool. When we can test each eye, the left and the right. So people who do iridology, it's a science. You look at the eye and they do it, but this will test it just energetically and see where, and then you can also treat on the eye inflammation, infection, pain, and degeneration. But it will show like if there's anything that reacts on the eye and where it maps to on the body.
Yeah.
The other one, which is really interesting that we've never done, is the dental one.
Yeah.
People have told me, oh, I have a tooth pain, and they didn't tell me where it was. And I'm able to test and say, hey, is it this third molar back here? And they're like, yeah, it is. And it will show because it will. So this is a cool one to do too.
Oh, that's cool.
And you don't like, teeth are not really that exciting. I mean, who cares about teeth, right? But they're really important to your health. They're really important also to your energetic body because all of the meridians line up to each tooth. So if you have something going on in your teeth, you want to fix it energetically, but also, you could have like dead bacteria or dead gum, and that can impact your whole body. So, I mean,
It's
teeth are
huge.
important. Yeah.
Teeth are super important. They really
Yeah.
show how healthy you are. If you have teeth
Yeah.
problems, you're having a problem.
Absolutely. Um, and then the other one we do that we love, the aging miasm is cool, but I was thinking
I'm
about
big on that one.
the gym. These are really cool. They test you for miasms, which are usually in traditional homeopathy, it's usually just 4 miasms, which are, they put you into 4 main categories of which homeopathic type of person you are. But they've added a couple, like the vaccines and cancer as a miasm. So that's kind of interesting to see what type you are. And then what's stressing you out? Are you emotionally stressed? Are you stressed from the sun, from toxins, from pathogens? And then I love this one, these general factors where you can balance the free radicals, the RNA, the DHEA, parathyroid, the telomeres, make sure those are nice and long. The telomeres are your chromosomes, and making sure that those strands are really long, and that's a sign of longevity. So that's a really important one. And of course, collagen, elastin. Those are really cool.
Have we done this on me?
Yes, we have. But I think we just did it once. We need to go back and
let's do it again next time.
Yeah. Also, like the HGH, that human growth hormone. I mean, a lot of people are taking that to build muscle. And you know what? Once you get to your 40s, you lose 3% of muscle mass a year. We need to make sure that we're lifting weights and keep that muscle mass. It's really important for longevity.
Yeah. And then you have the crystal thing too. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, this is really cool.
It's really fun.
This is fun to test. This page is super fun because there's a lot on here. You can test for the gemstones. So I'll hit gemstones here, and they have them. The list now is alphabetically, but when we test it on you, it shows them which are most reactive, so which you need the most. And then they also tell what they do, which is really cool, because I think sometimes it's really hard to find like really good, clear information about what they do. So like vision and clarity from calcite. I didn't know that. So it's educational as well. Then I really like these condition specific ones as well. Like I use these a lot, not on you. I don't think we've done it on you, but they're like balanced endocrine system. They're good, just balancing ones. It's interesting. Most of my remedies are homeopathic in nature, and in homeopathy, all it is that frequency. But you have made frequencies for me. And I believe that these are frequencies similar to what you have done, but yours are amazing. I think we should can we show those next? These are really cool. There's also,
we've been experimenting.
We've been experimenting, and it's awesome. But this page is awesome because it has that stuff too. I'll come back here. Let's show yours first, because that's pretty cool. Yours.
And you're running this podcast, everyone who's watching, on something as well, right?
I didn't hit run yet. I think we should decide together what we should run.
Okay.
Rachel Chamness, Sound Waves Heal. We did Windfall of Money, Opening the Clairs, Clear Entity, Psychic Implant. I can't read the whole thing.
Clearing psychic implants.
And then Vocal Healing, Thyroid, and
Stage fright, releasing blocks to recording yourself. Yes,
that's right. Yeah. And I'm so grateful, because I used to be so terrified of recording, and I wouldn't be able to do a podcast. And I'm so grateful, because here I am, calm and able to do this. Thank you, Rachel.
Really? You think it's working?
Yes, it definitely worked. Like one session with you, and then it's like, it's all gone. It's amazing. You're really, really cool.
Thank
you. And then I get it again.
Yeah.
I get it there again, because I can program it in here, which is cool.
Yeah,
and then we have the stage fright one, which I also think really helped me. We could do the Qi Gong energy, which just feels really good, and it's good for everybody. So it won't create any kind of detox symptoms. It just might give you a little bit of energy boost to do whatever you need to do during the day. It's safe to run on the podcast of people. We're not doing anything that could harm anyone.
So you guys have already been getting it. Are you feeling great? Are you loving our podcast? I love your machine. I just think it's so cool. I wanted everyone to see it.
Yeah.
It really does the coolest stuff.
It's cool to be able to target certain bacteria and certain things, like we work on the train. That's the fundamental thing. But there are certain bacteria known to cause different illnesses. For example, like H. pylori is known to cause ulcers. So it's good to heal up that ulcer and then cancel out any of that bacteria too. So bacteria and viruses they're all just frequencies. And if you can cancel that out, people start to feel really good,
Yeah.
after.
Do you have
Yeah,
spirochetes in there?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one. That causes a lot of cancers and problems. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
actually comes in through the teeth.
I went to my dentist, and my dentist puts my saliva on a slide. And Rachel, I was mortified because they show the bacteria and they're like, "Oh, you have spirochetes," and I'm like, "I should not have spirochetes. I need to test myself better. I need to do this." I went home and I did. I was testing myself, and sure enough, I found the spirochetes, and I canceled them out. And that day, I felt really, really so much better. There's a
You have a
couple of
good
them.
dentist. I had a dentist like that. I mean, he's
Yeah,
so far
so
away, we
cool.
don't go anymore, but a really cool. That's how all dentists should be. When you have a
Yeah.
biodentist, like literally shows you why you have cavities on the screen, and then you
Yes.
think, why isn't anyone else doing this? This seems basic.
And then I thought there are like oral microbiome tests you can get. And the dentist is concerned about your mouth, which is important. Like teeth are important, your mouth is important, but if it's in your mouth, it's also in your gut. It's a whole body experience. If you have
It is.
spirochetes in your mouth, it's everywhere. And I care about the whole body. And so I did this oral microbiome test, and he showed me that I had spirochetes. I don't think it was on the screen. I could see it. It was my spit that went under the microscope. And then I went home. I did it on the Biophoton machine. I tested myself and I found it was leptospirosis that was in my body, and I canceled it out. And then I sent in for an oral microbiome test, and there was no spirochetes. There were no spirochetes at all on my oral microbiome test.
Really?
So yes. So
That's
not only did
amazing.
I feel really good, I was like, oh my gosh, that was one that I was missing when I was testing myself. Because when I treat other people, it's a whole different experience. I do it really nicely, make sure I get everything clear. When I do myself, it's like, the surface
Right.
level stuff, because I do feel good. So I'm not really that concerned about myself. But somehow or another, I got those spirochetes. So yuck.
We do live in a toxic world. As
Constant.
well-meaning as we are, what we try to eat well, exercise, get sun, do all the things, but we have to make sure that we are able to release all of the chemicals and pathogens and everything. So I think this kind of work that you do is really important.
Yeah. Thank you. I think the work that you do is so important. And I love the fact that we can work together, how you can,
I know.
infuse my machine with your frequency. I think that is beautiful and amazing. And
I
now I
think it's
have the
really
most
cool.
expensive machine on the block because I've got these priceless remedies in it. That's how I feel. It's incredible. It really is. So I see that we're 100% rectified, and I'm feeling more energetic. Are you
I
feeling
feel
more
really
energetic?
good. Yeah,
I
I
do
feel
too.
amazing.
Oh, emotional stuff.
Emotions are so important. When you have something negative in your field, like an entity or something like that, or psychic implant or just anything, negative vibes, they are connected to an emotion. If you remove the emotion that's allowing that to be in your field, then it cannot stick. And so removing emotions is like the core of healing.
Yes.
Everything.
Oh, they're so related. They're so
And for
related.
sickness, for sure.
Yes. And will cause the sickness. And some people
Yes.
feel because that emotion is not leaving, which is interesting.
I know people who have healed themselves from completely, totally unhealable diseases by forgiveness or some big emotional change. I've seen that
I
and it's wild.
I've heard of that too, and I think that's amazing, but also important to know that that is really, really hard to do. I don't ever like to put blame on people who are sick and can't get over that, because it is really, really difficult to do.
It is
The
hard. Yeah.
the inventor of the biophoton machine said that those emotions get stuck in this physical disease, and then it's like the boat and the anchor. So like the boat would be representative of the emotion that's causing the disease, but you're anchored into the physical. So once you clear that physical ailment, that boat can just sail off, so that those emotions just go away. And the first year that I started doing this work, and I was working exclusively at that time with the Biophotons, I had 3 people get off of antidepressants in the month of December. I didn't tell them to get off antidepressants. And looking back now, like I would have recommended not to get off antidepressants, but they just did a cold turkey. That's not recommended. You're supposed to like taper off and
Yeah.
take some amino acids and things to like compensate. But they just were feeling healed from the biophotons, and they were feeling like physically better and emotionally better. And they were just able to get off of them and they were fine, which I thought was incredible. If you can clear the physical, then the emotional stuff goes away really easily too.
That's
What I'm
cool.
saying.
I never thought about it
Yeah.
that way.
Well,
So this
and,
is really cool here because it shows you like what the emotion is, like deeply. Relationship stress, conflict stress, age stress.
you can even go back to trauma that you've had in first trimester, which is kind of cool. Or like when you were 2 years old, if you know where the trauma was, you can it clears that. And then conflict stress factors. Yeah, it is really cool. And then relationship stress factors. There is a husband on here.
And then you have one that shows past life, right? Like a past life clearing. I remember
Yes,
that
there's
one you
a
ran on me.
past life clearing, which is really cool. So it's the dimensional one.
Oh, the dimensional one's always so
Dimensional
good.
transfer. Yeah. So the past life portal is really cool because you can test and it will show you what complex you're holding on to and then what your probability of profession. It's all on probability here. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but where your continent was, what year it was, and what gender you were. And then it clears whatever is that reactivity that you're holding on to in your body, which is really cool.
That is how I clear past lives. It's like when you're clearing a past life, you're just clearing whatever emotion is triggering you in this life. It's not like you're erasing past lives. You're just disconnecting it so that it's not affecting you anymore.
Yeah, and it shouldn't affect this life.
So if you have like some weird trigger or some weird fear and you can't figure it out, it could be from a past life.
And so these are fun to run. I can only run one past life per session, but it is cool to just clear, and it clears the top one that's showing up. So that's a good thing to do. And then this dimensional one, this is amazing. I run this every time on you because I know how good it makes me feel. And I like to do on all the sessions, there's the clearing stuff, and then there's like a feel good one. And I like this one because it does make you feel really, really good. It's cool. This is also a really good one for helping me understand how a person is doing because I have to get at least 85% rectified to then move on to the next thing or to say it's rectified. And if somebody doesn't clear that 85% on the first one on this, because I can only run it once, I know that they're not doing very well. So we look for other things. You know, they're not feeling very good. There's something emotional that's trapped in them. This is a good indicator of how people are really feeling. If they get 98, 99%, I'm like, oh, you're having a good day. And they're like, yes, yes. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good indicator.
That's cool. So you can really see someone's progress with this machine.
Yes. Yeah.
When they've been working with you.
Absolutely.
Well, it's really cool. I love this machine. I love it when you use it on me, and it's really neat and it's fun. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on and showing us your cool machines. I just love cool stuff like that. I mean, it feels like med beds.
Yeah, it does. It is the future for sure. And so gentle, and what a nice way of healing.
Mm-hmm. Well, will you tell everyone where they can find you and how it works if they wanted a session?
So if you go to my website, www.milanowellness.me, there is a book now. You can do a free consultation and we can talk about it first before we book. Or there you can book directly. There's a remote biofeedback if you're not in my area. I live in Meridian, Idaho. If you're in Meridian, Idaho, I definitely recommend coming in, getting a session. I can't wait, Rachel. One day we're going to meet up in person and I would love to give you an in-person session.
Can't wait.
It would be so much fun. But the remote ones also work really well and I'm really fascinated by it. Go ahead and book online. There you go.
Well, that's great.
I also have a lot of research papers on there. So if people are confused, there's a lot of research on my website. There's the whole section where you can figure out what I'm doing and how it works. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I love science to it.
This is not as woo-woo as me. This is like scientific.
But I like it because like the science is proving the woo-woo. That's why I wouldn't have ever made it to you if it wasn't for my own healing. And I'm so grateful that I did make it to you because you are amazing. Your classes are amazing. You've taught me so much and I've grown so much since I've met you. So I am eternally grateful. You are phenomenal. If people are listening to this have not had sound Reiki from Rachel, you've got to try it. It is incredible. And your classes are incredible. So look her up if you're not already on your list. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming. And we'd love to hear what you thought about the machine, or if you have questions, you can put them in the comments. So we'll try to answer them for you, especially on YouTube. So thanks everybody for coming.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you for watching. I'm Rachel Chamness at soundwavesheal.com. I love to help lightworkers trans-channel messages, light, and healing in higher dimensions. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and follow on social media, and consider checking out my Tag Lightworkers monthly mentorship program.